Oh, hello, me again. Sorry about the long delay. I've had a bit of a problem, one or two things, so I've just had to start the video again, so sorry about the little delay in between the two. When we left yesterday, I was sliding the gearbox back onto the reduction housing and the engine. I did struggle, I've got to say, with that mechanism. When I slid it together, it's all engaged. I pulled the wire out, which I showed on the video. When I come to slide it together, I was wriggling it about and it came back too far, and the mechanism that I've shown on the video before came disengaged. So I had to go through all that procedure again, but it was easy because I just slid it back and reattached the wire, etc., and held it up out of the way. Maybe if you've got the engine and gearbox on the bench like I have, it would be quicker to take that off and lift it up as you slide it together, even though you've got all the other things to try and do, which is what I intended doing, but I just thought I'd do it the way I said I'd do it. But as you can see, if I just slip the kickstart onto that, you can see that there's a bit of movement and it returns. I am not going to kick the engine over. I have turned it a little just to make sure it's all engaged, but I'm not going to kick it again because, knowing my luck, it'll over centre and I'll be back to square one again, and we'd all be happy about that, wouldn't we? So that's all together now. I've put nuts and washers on all of these. The ones beneath, which I'll remove the camera and show you. As you can see, there's a nuts and washers across the top. These two have nothing to do with any of this. These two are the top two bolts that hold the adapter plate and bearing housing and oil distribution plate at the back of the engine. You shouldn't really touch those at all. Once they're installed and tightened up, leave them alone until the next engine stripped down, because you can't hold the inner end of the bolt to tighten them any tighter, because it'll all turn. So right, and we get down here, a little bit of illumination. There's a nut there that I've yet to put on. You can perhaps see now when we go under here. There's a bolt. Oh, sorry, a nut there, and these two here, which bolt the bottom of the reduction casing to the crankcase. These should have copper washers on as that, because what has happened in the past is that the oil can go from the engine down the side of the hole and actually come out through here. It's very, very seeking, isn't it, hot oil? So a copper washer on there does no harm at all to seal it. That's the oil drain plug for the gearbox. While we're under here, as I say, you've seen the mechanism before. Not forgetting that to go up. Now it's all together. So what I'll do now is tighten all these bolts up, which will pull these casings together nicely, nice and tight and secure. So if I do this now, it's done, isn't it? Yeah, I'll demonstrate that when it's together, because as these two go together, that gap closes. It obviously will push that push rod in there further this way, which will tend to do that. That's why I've left some slack on here. So I just like to put it under tension when it's all together. So these nuts here, they're all nice and easy to pull up. I can do them with my fingers. I'm just demonstrating how easily it all pulls together when it's all lined up. There shouldn't be any force involved. Perhaps if those clutch plates weren't quite lined up enough, well enough, I mean, it perhaps wouldn't go together as easy, but you would really struggle getting it all together, to be honest, if they weren't lined up. The first time I ever did one, not realising how important it was, it was a waste of time, complete waste of time trying to do it. So as you can see, those gaps have pulled up very easily. I'm only using the weight of the spanner just to pull those nuts. Alright, it's just sort of the weight of the spanner tightness. As you see, you can pull that one through nicely on there as well. Just put a little time, just weight of the spanner on. I've got one to do in there, which will be fun. I've got to find the nut actually. For some unknown reason it seems to be eluding me, and there's the one here which is quite easily forgotten. As I say, they're just at the moment I'm just doing it the weight of the spanner tight, just so I know it's all square and pulled up. And so that's that. So there's that, just that nut there that I'll locate. As you can see, with my tiny little fingers, it'll be really easy to get into that. Velocette had a knack of doing these things.